Ladies, sis, cousin, aunties, whoever, please stop making that man a priority whenever he's still treating you like an option, or if he's still exploring his options. Please stop treating that man like he is the one and only, coming to America royalty when he's treating you like another card that he's shuffling in his deck. Like, I'm all for those of y'all that want to date multiple people or whatever. I'm not a big fan of the whole concept of dating, like seriously dating multiple people. But for those of y'all who say, hey, date them all and may the best man win, I'm all for that. In the same way, I'm all for those of y'all who say, no, I can't, I ain't got that much time, I ain't got that much attention, I ain't got that much energy. I'm gonna just focus on one person. But there's a way to do both. And there's an unhealthy, wrong way to do both. Like, for those of y'all who date a whole lot of dudes because you don't want to get attached to any particular one of those, no, that's unhealthy. All you need to not get attached is to understand what your emotional boundaries are, how you detach and what makes you attach. Because you're gonna need emotional boundaries even in a relationship. Like, the lack of emotional boundaries is why a lot of people get in relationships and then they end up pouring from an empty cup, because you don't know how to use those emotional boundaries the moment that you notice your cup is running low, and be able to say, you know what, I'm going to shut this valve and this valve in terms of putting up emotional boundaries until we fix whatever's in your cup that got you not being able to pour mine the way I need it. So you're going to need emotional boundaries whether you dating or in a relationship. But again, if you date multiple people because that's how you get down, cool. And if you want to date one person, cool. But do not date a guy and treat him like, he's on this pedestal and it's one and only, and he's still exploring his options. Don't mean he a bad guy for exploring his options. It just means you need to keep that same energy. Now, how do you know that a guy is still exploring his options? Because all of them ain't gonna say it. The first sign that a guy is still exploring his options is that he's very vague about the future of the relationship with you. He's never definitive. He's never clear cut to the point. Or whenever you ask him a question or whatever, it's always this, we're going to see what happens. Or, we're just going to go with the flow of things. We're going to let this happen organically and naturally. Even naturally, there's a such thing as intentionality. Don't let nobody gaslight you in that whole, we're going to let this naturally happen. If you want to naturally build a house, you still got to put out a floor plan, right? If you want to naturally build a business, you still need a business plan. If you want to naturally build whatever, you still need some intentionality and some direction. Any ship that doesn't have a particular destination to go is just going to wander off and end up shipwrecked somewhere. And the same thing happens with your relationship. Whenever you say we're going to naturally do, no, you don't naturally nothing. You intentionally build a relationship from a place of natural chemistry that's not forced and all that other stuff. Anyway, another sign that a guy is still exploring his options. Again, this don't mean he's a bad dude. If y'all are just dating, y'all are single, exploring options is just fine, so long as you keep that same energy. Speaking of same energy, the second sign is if he has two different energies from when he's with you and when he's not. When he's not with you, if he's just basically out of sight, out of mind, but whenever he is with you, totally engaged, all about you, lovey-dovey, highly affectionate, just want to talk, all that kind of stuff. But again, when he's not with you, it's like you don't exist. You can't get through to him. You can't get responses to your text messages. He don't even respond after about 6:30, 7 o'clock, talking about he get up real early in the morning. No. He's not just an in-person type of guy, face-to-face type of guy. Yeah, he is face-to-face, actually. Another face whenever you're not the one that's in his face. So that man still has options. And this, again, it's cool so long as y'all are single and stuff. Another sign that that man is still exploring his options is if he tries to keep his investment in the dates low over the long term. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm not saying this man need to go break the bank, spend $1,000 on a date just to show you a good time every time. But if by date 7, date 8, he's still giving you that whole, let's go meet up for a coffee. Let's go to the gym. Let's go for a walk at the park. Anything $5, $10, something like that. He's still trying to go Dutch. And I don't know if y'all even go Dutch, but he's still trying to do this cheap thing. That's because he's spreading his investment across multiple women. That's all that means. Why do I say this? Because at a certain point, like, of course, I think in the beginning, if a guy's doing that, it's practical. He don't know you, you don't know him. He don't know that you a prize and this, that, and the other. You might be a not so great woman. Not every woman walk around here as a queen. So he may not know what you got going on and may say, hey, let me just be very careful about this until I do know. But once a guy says, I like her, she's dope, like, I want to really focus on her and seriously date her. Think of it like whenever you kind of shopping or something like that and you see something you like and then you squint. You're not squinting to focus on everything, you squinting because you see one thing and you just want to make sure that is what it is. Once a man gets to that squinting phase, like, hold on. Yeah, I got three or four girls that I was talking, but this one right here, it becomes more about the experience than it does the cost. Unless he's dead broke, and I'm not a big fan of dudes slinging poverty penis, even though I know that's at all-time high. But unless he's dead broke, a dude will more so prioritize what it is you've already revealed you find special or what it is he finds special, and he wants you to join him in that experience. And so what you'll have is dates. Yeah, some of them going to be casual and chill, $5, $10 dates. Don't worry about that part. But you'll also notice that sometimes he does go a little deeper in his pockets because your favorite band is coming into town. He does go a little bit deeper in his pockets because, you know what, now we're around the holidays or your birthday came up or, you know, y'all never went to this place, so he want to get out of town for a couple of days or something like that. Anyway, the last way that you know that man still has his options open is if on Friday, Saturday nights, if you respond late and then you can't get in touch with him 2-3 hours after, you can't get in touch with him again, prime time hours, more than likely that, like, because of course Friday and Saturday night is everybody hot night and stuff like that. More than likely he done got booked up. I cannot emphasize this enough. This does not mean he is a bad guy. Don't hold this against him morally unless he playing with you and he lying to you. Then yes, hold that against him morally. But if y'all are just dating, I'm just saying that's your green light to keep dating too. That's your green light to know, like, oh, you know, he's doing with him. Let me do me. That don't mean you got to give your body up and all that stuff. And let me say this, if you do, because this is what I see also. I see a lot of women who say, well, I gave him my body. I loaned him some money. Something you probably shouldn't have been doing this early in the dating phase. But you say that and you say, well, therefore, you know, I can't pull away from him. Now that I want to get away from him, we're not on the same page. I can't pull away from him. There comes a time where you might need to just tell the dude to keep the change. Those of y'all who dating a man, maybe you've been in a relationship, but you got a lot invested. Again, you loan them $500, $1,000, something like that. You let them anything that you can't necessarily recover in court, because if it's like $20,000 you know put in, you got to get that back. But money, your body, your time. I taught him this. I did that. Tell him to keep the change. If it's costing you your mental health, if it's costing you your peace, if it's costing you more time that you need to move on and heal, it's too expensive to get back. As far as something like your body or something like that, you had sex with him. So I'm not going to say so what, like it's meaningless, but break that soul tie, cut your losses, let that man have the memories, let that, you know, he going to be able to brag to his boys or whatever he going to do. I know you don't give your body to everybody. So what? You don't give your body to everybody. You ain't giving it to him no more. Let him miss out on what he had. Cut your losses. Keep it moving. Don't keep on making that bad investment just because you once upon a time made it and you don't make that kind of investment a whole lot. You know, who you give your body to is real special. Apparently, he ain't that special. Oh, well, let him have the body, whatever. You gave him some clout on social media. You made him look good. You let him borrow some money. Let him keep that little money. Instead of worrying about that chump change, that spilled milk, that he got. You need to free yourself up to build an empire with somebody who done with the chump change anyway. That ain't what they came for. You need to free yourself up, free your energy up. This is what I see, man. So many of y'all, and I hate to make this kind of parallel, but just follow me here. So many of y'all remind me of like whenever you talking to, say, a child, and again, no disrespect, but they say a 5-year-old, I haven't had this in my entire life, my whole life. I've done this. I've never in my life. Y'all ever heard a little 5 or 6-year-old say something like that? What go through your mind? Like, dang, you ain't even lived life yet. So many of y'all be like, man, I've spent my whole life with him. You 30 years old, 40 years old, talking about my whole life. Or every guy that I get in a relationship with. Whole time I'm thinking, you do know you have not lived your whole life. You only been an adult like 10, 20 years. Maybe 25, 30 at max. You still got another 40. And you sitting there talking about my whole life, defining your whole relationship life, or this guy done been with for 10 years. You got another 40 you can still spend with somebody who actually deserves you. You focused on the wrong thing. It's like reading the book, chapter 1 through 3, and saying this entire book, and it's got 30 chapters. Basically, don't trip. Cut them losses and get on to them winners. You still learning. You still gathering wisdom. You're still gathering information. Your old choices, your worst choices, the best is really in front of you. I hate to sound all cliche and motivational. I'm just keeping it all the way real with you. You have not lived life yet. And there are evolved men out here who are spending their time praying, waiting, investing in themselves, elevating themselves, getting their situation together, preparing their kingdom for a queen to come in. They waiting, they're looking for women who are done with the games. They're looking for women who have risen in their own emotional intelligence. They're looking for what I call top tier women. Cream of the crop women. Ain't got nothing to do with your looks, even though, of course, men like a woman that look good the same way y'all like a man that look good. But it's got everything to do with how you've been nurturing your own soul in the time that you waited to get to him. And if you're giving yourself or you're giving access to a man who don't deserve you, you're not doing right by your soul. But those of y'all who have no problem pulling away from a man, who at some point can pull away from a man that ain't doing nothing but take it from you, there are evolved men who are looking for you. And I'm saying that as a way to encourage you as you move on to understand that what you letting go ain't got nothing on what's coming your way. In an evolved man. Now, if you don't know how to position yourself, you may miss out on your blessing. But if you watch my free masterclass, I broke that down on how to position yourself and attract evolved men. Again, if you missing that, no shame, no judgment. Again, I gave the game for free on that one. Click the link right here. Click this link right here, get access to the masterclass. Before we get off, before it comes down, click the link right here, get access to the masterclass, Secrets to Making Evolved Men Crave You. If you want to understand how to do that, over an hour I went in on how to attract truly evolved men in their thinking, in their preparation, and just how they hold themselves accountable and how they're willing to be held accountable by you once they get with you. Different conversation. Back to what I was saying. For those of y'all who are dating, look, I'm all for you doing your thing, man. Look, no judgment, no shaming. You know, if you want to date around, or if you want to just kind of like one at a time, you know your emotional boundaries. You know how to pull out whenever it's time to pull out. If it's a situation where you need to, but please don't play yourself by putting these men who don't deserve it on any type of pedestal and making them some type of priority, and they still out here infatuated with their choices. You deserve better than that. But those are just my thoughts. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments. Share this if you got something from it right now. Bless somebody on your timeline. Do your timeline a favor. Share this right now if you got something from it. And if you are in the market for an evolved man, click the link pinned right here in the comment. It's also in the caption whenever you back out. But get access to the masterclass, the free masterclass, Secrets to Making Evolved Men Crave You. Holla at y'all later. Y'all be good.